this one, I'm going to change the name. I'm just going to call this one Alright, anyway. So yeah. So choose which deck. So probably what we'll do is rest of last time was talking about what does an Invention Angel look like in a deck. So I'll try and build a deck based around Invention Angel. Talk about what that looks like, what makes Invention Angel a good card, and sometimes it can be a little bit of a trap. People, I know that the most common experience I've had with Invention Angel is people start by thinking the best card ever. Absolutely terrible. But it's kind of in the middle. In my opinion, is one of the best hunters. So has already spent their gold. You don't have an airborne blocker. And you get 12 points when you deal 12 damage to them. You deal 6 damage to them and you gain 6 health, which is a 12 point swing. And then also, they have to remove it on their turn before they can attack. It's a great way to force your opponent to make some kind of play. Usually they'll have to spend their gold on their turn before attacking. So it's very good if you combine it with off turn clears, or you can just play a very tempo game. So probably what I'll build is I'll make something that's much more tempo oriented, since I've been playing a lot of decks that are very value based, where you're just trying to draw up cards and do a lot of things. There's that one Sage hybrid deck, so probably it'll be something like that. Maybe Sage, a little quiet. I can turn it up. Alright. Alright. How's that? Am I super loud? Or should I make it even louder? What do you think? Maybe pretty close to. Hello. I'm hearing the start screen. Oh, that's because I'm in the start screen. Can you hear me? Hello. Am I too loud for me? I'll turn myself up. I can turn down the may have changed my sound settings. How are we right now? Voice isn't coming through clearly. I might need to just try and listen. Hold Alright, can you hear me now? I'm probably really loud now. Alright, great. I just realized I had multiple mics plugged in. Alright, let me know, let me know again if there's something that's wrong. Or if you can't hear me. Alright, probably what I'll do is we'll just go into the arena with this burn deck. And see if we can get a couple of games in, see how far we get. Maybe we can go, let's see, I'm gonna guess, I don't know, 4 wins. That's what I'm expecting. I think this deck's very good and it's consistent. All right. All right, we're up against Ransom. It's an interesting name. All right, so the opponent is going first. So we definitely want to keep this Strafing Dragon. It's probably going to be our play. And I also personally like holding on to a draw too. So I'm actually quite happy with this hand. I think this hand has a lot of options. So I can go Strafing Dragon into Regency Rex on my turn. So I don't want to make any mulligans. I think when you're mulliganing, you need to consider your loyalty twos a lot. So I don't have that many cards I could draw that aren't wild. This deck's almost exclusively wild. But it would be very sad for me to mulligan something like Kong or Pyrosaur and get a Lessons Learned. Or an Amnesia or a Wave transformation. But alright. So they mulligan 2. Now, definitely, alright, so I'll go over a little bit of what I was saying before. Yeah, so the most recent change, now you can choose which deck you're playing with when you quick play or when you start constructed. Alright, you're going to Misguide Herald. They're playing the same deck? Do we have Flame Spikes? Can't even see. No, we don't. So they're playing a very similar deck. Alright, they're going to Strafing Dragon and probably deal 5 damage to us. What else did they... Yeah, they had to do that. Alright, this Spore Beast is very relevant to know about. So we're also going to play Strafing Dragon, but the question is, do we want to block that? Do we want to shoot them, or their Misguide Herald? Yeah. Well, I don't think I'm going to be playing Pyrosaur next turn, because they have Strafing Dragon. So they're going to want to play Strafing Dragon on my next turn. So I think what I'll do is I'm just going to reveal Raging T-Rex and this Pyrosaur and take out, probably just shoot this Misguide Herald, since the 5 damage to them represents less than the value of this Misguide Herald. Basically, normally I would just probably shoot them, but knowing the Spore Beast is there, a chump blocker like a Misguide Herald is probably going to get more value than just 5 damage. If it blocks a Raging T-Rex or something like that. And also, the other downside is if I don't deal with the Misguide Herald for a long time, then I might end up taking 3 damage multiple times. So we're just going to get rid of that. Yeah, we're up against a very similar deck. We're going to see what's going on over there. I think our Kongs will be very good in this game. Generally, Kong is a card that you really want against other wild decks because they have a tough time dealing with big champions, and also, oh, that's very good. All right, we're gonna hide the fact that we have the surprise attack. I think. Let them know about the Kong. Yeah, because we're almost definitely going to surprise attack on their turn. Usually what I do when I'm choosing my loyalties is it depends a lot, right? But usually there's one card that I think my opponent would make different decisions if they knew about. So I try to figure out what that is and then show the other cards in my hand. Alright, they're going to play Strafing Dragon, revealing Brachiosaurus and Spore Beast to deal 5 damage to us. Alright. So then this is going to attack. If I was them, I would attack with Strafing Dragon here. Well, I don't know what they have to deal with this Raging Sharks, but I probably would attack with Strafing Dragon, play Brachiosaurus, and then pass to me. I think in that case, we surprise deck out Kong and kill the Brachiosaurus. And they're also running Hasty Retreat, so this actually looks a lot like, there's a deck that in a Worlds tournament that was very similar to this. Alright, we're definitely taking that 6. We don't want to spend our gold first. 14 is a bit low. We could just die to something here. But we know that 2 of the cards in our opponent's hand are Brachiosaurus and Spore Beast. So it's hard to imagine they would just happen to have some way to kill us here. But we're going to see. We could die to something like Fire Shaman, Brachiosaurus. I guess you can't do that. Yeah, it'd be tough for them to lethal us, but they could definitely set up some way to kill us next turn. Alright, I'm going to draw 2 off of Spore Beast and Brachiosaurus. And we are going to go ahead and toss down this Kong and take out that Raging T-Rex. So here, this game we haven't really been experiencing the burn side of the deck. It's just been more big champions. Alright, so we know they have Spore Beast and Brachiosaurus. Now we're in a very good spot here because basically we're threatening to deal 25. The only thing I'm considering doing is amnesiaing them right now, since they might have a recycle that they want to play when I make this attack. A flame spike or something like that. Or a spike trap or a watchful gargoyle. Watchful gargoyle is unlikely. Just trying, maybe wolf spite. I'm just gonna cast amnesia right now. Banish to discard pile. I'm just doing this to turn off their recycle. And then I will attack with this Raging T-Rex. Shaman, Brock, Flame Strike. Yeah. Would that do it? 6? Yeah, that would do it. You're right. Shaman, Brock, Flame Strike. Alright. I think yeah. Right now, in hand, we can represent 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 without interaction. And if we can get this Power Soar in, if we can attack with it and have it not be blocked, then we can do another 5 on that, top of that, so we would do 16. So if this Kong hits, I'm just going to, we're going to wave, alright? Alright, so if we just Power Soar right now, if we Fire Shaman, Brachiosaurus, Power Soar, that would be what? It's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 16. I mean, I think it's worth it since it's unlikely they have another wave. I'm just going to overcommit to this board. Not going to worry about anything else. I'm going to make them afraid that we have lethal. And you get to see a lot of our hand. Yeah. Now the main downside to this play is that they are going to Spore Beast this. But and they might have another way to clear the board. But since they have Spore Beast, Brachiosaurus, and they're a wild deck, yeah, okay, right, yeah. I'm just going to assume that they don't really have a good way to deal with it. All right. Yeah, so we just dealt, what, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage to them by doing Fire Shaman, Brachiosaurus, Pyrosaur. And the biggest disadvantage to Brachiosaurus is that it really
it really empties your hand quickly. So it's like a zero cost. Most zero cost champions are like that, where you can have a full hand and then all of a sudden, we just played 3 cards. Alright, there's Brachiosaurus. And they're gonna pass after that? Or Raging T-Rex. Alright. Alright. And so right now their Flame Spike is turned off. They can't Flame Spike and recycle. They deal 2 damage, recycle. They're attacking for 2. Alright, I'm going to block with probably a wolf token. I imagine... Let's see, what could they have? If they raged it? If they rage... I'm just trying to imagine what this play is about. So let's say that they Flame Spike us, we're at 12. This could be Rage plus... Basically, this is either a Rage play or a Feeding Frenzy play. I'm going to assume it's a Feeding Frenzy play, since the obvious move would be to block with Brachiosaurus. Alright. This is Feeding Frenzy, by the way. So I think what they're trying to do is they're attacking with that in an attempt to get me to block with my big champions so that they can... Maybe they're just trying to recycle for Flame Spike. So they can Flame Spike Fire Shaman right now. Oh, I should have played Savage Uprising there. That was my mistake. Oh well. We missed 3 damage. Am I really blurry? I don't know what's happening. Alright. Let me just... Alright, I think... It's okay now. Famous last words. Alright, we're gonna do a 5 damage draw card. Alright. Yeah, I don't think that, well, let's see, 2, they beat 11. 3. If we draw Flame Strike here, then we would have missed lethal because of that. But we'll see if that matters. I'm going to attack with Pyrosaur here. I want to do this attack first because it deals damage to them. And then I can actually immediately Feeding Frenzy one of their champions. So probably makes sense to take out Brachiosaurus since, well, not really a strong argument, I guess, for either one. I'm going to take out the Brachiosaurus here. Yeah. Alright, let's see what's happening in our opponent's hand over there. Savage Uprising to deal 5. Yeah, so we have lethal if they don't block this pretty easily. We can just deal 7 to each opposing player. My box. Yeah, that is fair. However, if they block with Brachiosaurus, then both Brachiosauruses survive. Alright, they're gonna chomp with Muse. Sounds good to me. I'm going to attack with this wolf token. I'm going to see what their plan is. So, I think actually if we attack with Brachiosaurus first, they would block with Raging T-Rex. And then they would trade. I want to put them in a position where this is actually a bluff, this attack. I don't have a good play if they actually block with, I mean, I could kill their thing with Fires of Rebellion and then attack with this, but if they had a way to remove this Brachiosaurus and block this wolf token, I wouldn't have a real follow-up. But if they didn't have a good way to what's it called? If they did have a good way to stop this wolf token, like a strafing dragon, and then they can deal damage to me directly, then I think the main downside to just attacking with the wolf token would be, I mean, to attack with the Brachiosaurus first, is that if I attack with this and these trade and then I attack with the wolf token, then they will actually play this strafing dragon. But it's too risky to play it before I've attacked with this Brachiosaurus in case I have some kind of removal for both. So I think what I'm going to do here is probably just kill that with Feeding Frenzy off of Lessons Learned. That would just deal 8 to them. I mean, we can just let this happen. I'm just going to pass. There's a couple of different options I had there, but basically we're in a position where I don't want to play something and then die because of that, because we're both low. Alright. Yeah, it looks like there's nothing that we could do about this game. I am going to play Savage Uprising and see if we can find lethal here, but it's very unlikely. Alright. It's true. I mean, that was just an example. Surprise attack plus a champion. Any ambush champion, Dracus Enforcer. I don't know. Pretty much anything where they would make the play aggressively. I think they would do that after blocks. They would do that if the Brachiosaurus traded, then they'd be much more willing to do it. But if I attack with the wolf token first, it looks like there's something up my sleeve. Alright, so they have to kill us now, or they're dead. We have deal 7 right here. Probably they're going to dig to draw 2 if they don't have a really obvious way to kill us. I did, yeah. Yeah, I did. I mean, it wasn't necessarily true that I should have done that, but alright, it looks like we win. Unless they're really slow rolling this last fireball here. Alright, yeah, we win. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't, you can never really know for 100%, but I think it was a mistake. I knew that the Flame Spike existed. I knew they wanted to play the Flame Spike with Recycle. So I should have played my card there. Alright, we got one win. That was a close game. Could have really gone either way. Alright. Didn't necessarily. We did end up not missing the win. So. Alright. Let's see how many games we can take this deck. Personally, my favorite type of I really like to play the kind of the wonky decks that do weird things. So my favorite card probably right now is I don't know. I mean, Time Walker is pretty fun, or Necromancer Lord. I think those two are really they have the craziest potential, but I mean, they're really inconsistent. Time Walker is a bit inconsistent. Necromancer Lord can work. Yeah, Arena is constructed, so it changes every Friday. So on Friday, it changes. I'm not sure what time it changes, but yeah, it's constructed right now, and then next week it'll be it's just random 30. So next week it'll be Dark Draft, and then the week after that it'll be the random 60, where you make a deck from a pool, and then it'll rotate back to random 30. Sometimes the best play is to pass. It's true. It's Connor again, my nemesis. Alright, the opponent's going first. What do we got? We're kind of a bit of an awkward hand here. I don't really like this Flame Strike or this Wolf's Bite. Those are both awkward to have in your opening hand. And Draka is good, but I really want a good opener to surprise attack out. So I'm gonna mulligan away this Draka. Lash is kind of in a similar spot. It's much better if I had something to do with it. So I'm probably also going to mulligan that card. We're just going to mulligan everything except for the surprise attack. Alright. Like I think I've said before, I usually mulligan pretty aggressively. And it also depends on the matchup. So if you're up against a more aggressive deck, then mulliganing is actually hurts you more because you lose health. Whereas if you're up against a slower deck, then you should totally mulligan it as aggressively as possible. It's possible that I'll get punished for that mulligan because I won't. I'll lose by that one health, but I think that not having the lash. Ooh, Thunderous. All right. Our deck actually is going to struggle to remove that. We have Wave of Transformation and Wolf's Bite. That's it. Not Wolf's Bite. Feeding Frenzy. All right, so we're just going to ignore that, I think, and try and kill him. The real question is, do we want to yeah, because that's 7, I would need 8. Yeah, there's no way. The real question is, do I want to surprise attack out this Hunting Raptors or not? I think I am going to surprise attack. Sometimes you surprise attack even when you're playing an ambush champion, because you'd rather have a different card in your hand than the surprise attack, which is the case here. So I'm going to reveal probably Fire's Rebellion and Savage Uprising, because they're very similar in effect. They both just are usually going to be used to deal damage to him directly. Alright. Have you ever barely lost a game and then regretted mulliganing? There are definitely times where I've mulliganed away a card I thought would be irrelevant, and then it was immediately it would have been immediately relevant. And I definitely have lost games or won and lost games where it was very close. It was the difference of 1 or 2 health. All right, wait, can we get it this time? 4, 5, 6, 7, 14. We're 1 short. If you activate Fire Shaman, Savage Uprising, ooh. Well, we could get it with Savage Uprising, but we'd lose our Hunting Raptors. So I'm not really a big fan of that. Yeah, it's just got to be shoot with the Hunting Raptors and then pass, unfortunately. We're going to take 10 here and go to 16. I can't really force that out of the way with any of my cards. It's not worth playing this Fire Shaman into a Divine Judgment or something. This card's unbanishable, so basically it's usually going to a lot of the decks that play Thunderous have banish all effects, and they're not very many, I think. All right, so let's see. Right now we have 7. You can kill that with Fire Shaman plus Fires of Rebellion. I'm just trying to think if I can actually take that down somehow. That's going to be very big. All right, we are going to just remove that what you can call it, that Royal Escort. I'm going to draw a card, deal 7. Ooh, we got our Feeding Frenzy. All right, we can handle it. We can take out the Thunderous next turn. We got to hold on to our Feeding Frenzy. All right. Yeah, it's true. I don't know if I've ever talked about it before, but I think that Thunderous is one of the deck that you really want Thunderous in is when you're playing against the Wild deck. And if you really wanted to make a meta deck against Wilds, you would basically just shove in all of these cards that are champions that generate you health and have big amounts of defense. So that's what we're seeing right now. We may We may only go 1-1 here. Let's see. I'm gonna take 10. Yeah, I mean, probably the worst thing that Connor could play right now would be Gold Dragon. I think if Connor played Gold Dragon, we would just lose. But anything else we can probably handle. Yeah, Gold Dragon, I think we would lose. Just because Thunderous gives it +5 offense, so it would hit us for 11, and then he would gain 11. And then I would have no way to take out the 8 + 5 would be 13 defense, really. So I would be taking it, and then that would be giving this righteous. Good evening. How's it going, Cash? I'm getting wrecked by Thunderous right now. Alright, Drain Essence. That is manageable. Taking out Hunting Raptors and Priestess Evangeline. So this looks to be some kind of life gain tempo deck. I think what I'm going to do is just deal 5 damage to Connor and then have Fire Shaman deal 3 damage to this. Yeah. Now I'm deciding if I want to actually take this out. If I want to shoot Connor and then play Draka on my turn and then yeah, I'm probably going to do that. Just going to shoot Connor twice. Alright. So we can take out this Priestess Evangeline basically for free when we attack with Draka, which is going to be the game plan here. Man, that Raging T-Rex kind of changes my plans. I think we're just going to have to play the Raging T-Rex. The reason is we really need to have an off-turn play, and right now if I play this Feeding Frenzy on my turn, I have no off-turn play. So we are going to probably reveal these 2 cards, which are already known, and deal 3 damage to Thunderous. And then finish off with Feeding Frenzy here. And then we're going to pass. Now the main downside to, so I got punished pretty hard. This Priestess Evangeline's probably going to gain 6 health for Connor, so I should have just dealt 3 damage to it. Alright, Noble Unicorn's going to come down. Now Noble Unicorn is what I would call the backbone of a lot of these good decks. Basically, it gains you 6. Sorry, it doesn't gain you 6. It just draws you so many cards. You play this off turn, you draw a card, and then every time you play another good card that costs a gold, you draw another card. So usually you can draw a lot off of one Noble Unicorn. Yeah, we're gonna see. Usually these decks don't have any burst, so you don't need to worry about dying randomly. They'll sometimes play Avenging Angel or Gold Dragon. All right. So these Noble Unicorns are doubling up here. All right, I think we have a good way to take them out. Let's see. I could just wave and then on my turn play Draka. I think what I'm going to do is a bit riskier. I think it is better. I'm gonna play an event from my discard pile. I'm going to play Surprise Attack. Surprise Attack out. Ooh, that's also tempting. Surprise Attack out the Draka. Don't give it Blitz. There's no reason to give it Blitz if it's the opponent's turn. Then on our turn we can play Pyrosaur and attack with both. No worries. This is actually our second game. We're playing Arena. Arena is now constructed. And it will be until next week's Friday. Alright, so I'm going to deal 3 damage to Connor. Give it Blitz by revealing probably this Raging T-Rex, and I won't show the Kong because I think the Kong is the type of card you would probably play around. Savage Uprising will probably just play for the top mode, so it doesn't matter if Connor knows about it. We're going to make an interesting play here. Because we want to take these out, we're going to group attack with both of these so that they're both taken out before passing priority. Now this play is a bit dangerous because this could easily be blocked by anything. So The worst thing Connor could play right now is Bodyguard or Watchful Gargoyle. Alright, that's fine. This way we get to draw a card. No big deal. We're back in this game. Basically from here we can just start pressuring his health total. Oh, absolutely. You can always challenge me. Send me a challenge, CJWWG. But I won't be playing until after this game finishes. Alright, Connor's thinking. On turn play right now. I mean, the worst thing for us would be Thunderous. Oh, man. But otherwise, we can pretty much handle anything. Worst case, we can wave a transformation, get rid of, turn everything into a wolf token. So even if it's Thunderous, then we have a way to deal with it. Alright, we're definitely going to start our turn. Usually whenever your opponent passes, you should just start your turn. I'm going to play Raging T-Rex, show off the Savage Uprising, and probably keep the Flame Spike information hidden. So I'll also show Kong. And then we can pass. I'm going to hold on to this Amnesia for a while. I mean, if there's something that we can take out with it, then I'll use it, but I think, especially against good decks, they almost always run at least one copy of Bodyguard, which will be really annoying to deal with if we have to deal with it over and over again. And also the Inner Peace. People sometimes play Inner Peace, and also Angel of Mercy, I think. So Angel of Mercy reanimates one of your good champions every turn. Why do you attack with them at the same time? Alright, so I attack with them at the same time because I didn't want to give priority to Connor, because Connor had 2 Noble Unicorns in play. So if Connor played any good card, it would draw him an additional 2 cards off of the ally abilities. So what I did was I group attacked with both of those champions in order to take out the Noble Unicorns before passing priority. And then Connor played Inherence of the Meek to banish all of my champions and I draw a card, but if I hadn't done that, Connor would have had an additional 2 cards in hand. Alright, so here we're being attacked for 7. Let's see. I'm just going to remove it with Fires of Rebellion. So we're getting a lot of value out of the Fires of Rebellion here. Get to get rid of that champion and also draw a card. So Angel of the Gate is one of the best things to use Fires of Rebellion on because it has 7 health. But this card is still quite nice against these wild decks, since wild decks actually play things like Raging T-Rex or Brachiosaurus on their turn, not Punishers, but cards that are slow a lot. So you can play Angel of the Gate on their turn after they've spent their golds, and then it immediately gains you 5 health. So even if it gets removed, it's like it's like half of an inner piece, and then they have to get rid of it. But it's a really big threat, because just like Avenging Angel, which is the 6 offense airborne with Righteous, this card represents a 12-point swing every turn, because you gain 5 and you deal 7. Alright, let's see. So we spent our gold, so we're weak against pretty much any Blitz champion. Now, the main downside to our play is that some of these decks will play things like Gold Dragon or Avenging Angel, which are Blitz Airborne Righteous champions. Alright, so usually when my opponent doesn't punish me, I can rule out that they have a Punisher in their hand, so it's very unlikely that Connor has a Punisher in those 4 cards. Alright, so we don't really have a play to make here. I'm just going to Flame Spike Connor because I want to find a play to make that isn't just burn. Alright, I am going to go ahead and toss. Do we have Lessons Learned? Nope. I'll just leave the champion probably. Even though we might draw Lessons Learned. The main... Alright, Connor might be on Zombie Apocalypse, so we want to get our extra zombies. Well, it's kind of an awkward, I've got an Amnesia right now, because we have a second one. Still digging for a real play here. And that is a real play. So, yeah, Connor should already know about this Kong and the Savage Uprising, so we'll reveal both of those, and then pass. Right now, we are going to be discarding the maximum hand size, so I'll be discarding 2. It'll probably be Flame Strike and Savage Uprising. Yeah, because those cards tend to be our weaker ones in this matchup. We're not actually very likely to burn him out here. We're going to have to run him out of cards. Alright. I'm going to discard my burn cards. Savage Uprising might be good as a sweeper, but we have Wave of Transformation, so if we really need a sweep, we'll use this. Now, Connor didn't have a Punisher last turn, so when this attacks, I'll definitely be using Fires of Rebellion on it. I wonder what Connor's thinking about, though. Because to me, it seems like this attack is really obvious. Unless you had Brave Squire, and you were thinking about Brave Squiring it, or if you just drew Gold Dragon off the top. Now, in my opinion, if I had Gold Dragon in hand, I would definitely attack with Angel of the Gate first, just to draw my opponent out of whatever they're trying to, whatever their reaction is, if anything. So I am going to react here. Now, even though I'm not, I'm spending my gold first, I'm also grinding Connor out of cards. Answering my single champion with a Banish All is actually a weak play because it just puts you in a position where your opponent's getting a lot of value and then you are not getting any value. Alright, we're going to start our turn. That's a very nice thing to see here. So, probably just going to play Amnesia. The main downside is that it's weak to Bodyguard here, but that's fine. We're just going to get rid of that inner piece right now. And we'll also get rid of probably this Flame Strike, since we're not very likely to Lessons Learned it. If we have Lessons Learned, it's more likely that we'll want a Lessons Learned on Fires of Rebellion. And the 1 damage difference probably won't matter. We'll see. Alright. Take 30. Alright. We're going to play Brachiosaurus here, and then probably just pass after that. I don't know, maybe Connor doesn't have a real play to make, and this is a mistake to pass, but I don't know. I don't have a way to pressure him. It's just my hands. I really should have used that go. I really should have held priority and, well, I'm not sure. Dealing 12 is so much that I shouldn't risk it by adding something to it. That is one big problem with good, is they have a hard time removing single champions. They've really, I mean, banishing all champions is a very, very strong effect. But you don't want to be spending your gold to remove your opponent's champion and give them something, like in Banishment and Forced Exile are both like that. Martial Law is like that. Inheritance and if you use either of those off turn. Let's see, we have 3. So we can recycle twice. When you wish you ran Thought Plucker. Actually, I think we're in a good spot. Thought Plucker isn't the type of card. It's very possible Connor has some way to deal with small champions in hand, and these champions are just too big. Like, what if Connor was holding onto a Drain Essence this whole time and there's just no target for it? That would be pretty nice. Alright, I'm going to take that out. I'm going to reveal both of these. I think I'm just going to take it out right away. Yeah, I am. Alright, after showing those, I'll use Wolfspite first. Both of these deal 2 damage and recycle, but Flame Spike can target players. Wolfspite has to target a champion. Oh, well, I miscounted. but also I just happened to draw this Flame Spike, so that's good. It's true, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, we're just grinding out this game. It's not yeah, so here is a situation where it's unclear to me which champion I should attack with first. Usually in this scenario, I attack with big champions in the event that a Ice Drake gets played, but it's so unlikely that our opponent is on Ice Drake or Surprise Stack Frost Titan, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, I could play her on turn, but yeah, I don't usually play her on turn. I don't see turn played very often. I'm going to use this Go Wild on the smallest champion because it's the one that's least likely to be. There's Rain Essence. What do you know? Even if you had a solution, it's giving to. Yeah, well, I think that Connor just has awkward cards for the situation. I mean, that's the main weakness to Drain Essence, is that you can't draw two with it. So if your opponent doesn't have things to hit you with, you might just be stuck playing weird cards that aren't relevant. Let me just make sure I have enough. Yeah, okay. We're going to toss both of our zero-cost events away, so most decks don't care at all about zero-cost events. There are a couple, but... Alright. I'm going to go wild that. And then smash and burn? What? Oh, man. Smash and burn's kind of like a Punisher in that usually you want to use it to pump something that that is already getting through. But you can use it before your opponent spends their gold if you have a Strafing Dragon or a Misguide Herald that isn't being blocked. Yeah, it just felt like, I mean, Connor just made some really weird plays. It just felt like there was a Drain Essence. I mean, what cards would you have where on your turn you play Royal Escort over anything else? It feels like you'd have to have very specific cards. Alright, gonna Vital Mission Rescue Griffin to draw 2 and gain 3 health. That's a good thing to see. I'm not sure... Oh, you know what the Vital Mission is here for? So, this lets you banish a champion and the controller gains health equal to its offense. And if it was you owned it, then you draw 2 cards. So if you play this on an unbanishable champion that you have, then you gain the health and draw 2, and it stays in play. So maybe this is some kind of Vital Mission plus Thunderous combo deck. No, I didn't want to rage it because I could get blown out by a hasty retreat, and I don't really need the extra damage. I mean, it's very unlikely that I lose from here. I'm gonna Flame Strike. So at this point, unless Connor manages to gain 3 health or gain 1 health, then we just win with Scaros on our turn. All right, and that's gonna be game. Good game, Connor. I thought you had me for a second. Yeah. yeah, you can target them. It says banish target champion, so if you break target champion, you can target an unbreakable champion. Usually you don't want to, because it doesn't work. But in Epic, you try to do as much of the text as you can, so basically what would happen is you would... Oh wait, I should see if there's a... Did someone say they were going to challenge me? I did, I have some challenges. Alright. I'll take this Epic out one. Let's continue playing our burn deck here. Alright. We'll see if Epicat or Epicat is online. I know that they said that a while ago. Yeah, so if you play Drain Essence with no champions in play, you still gain 9 health. You just can't choose anything. sometimes some people like to play decks where all or a large amount of their champions are untargetable, so that the opponent, if they want to play their cards that just do have removal as a side effect, like Drain Essence or Calm, then they have to use it on their own champions. All right, so we're going first. So probably not going to hold on to this Draka or Fire's Rebellion. Could do something like this. Yeah, this seems fine. I mean, I really want to find a real on-turn play, so I'm just going to hold on to Lessons Learned and Surprise Attack. I want to hold on to a draw 2 cards, and Surprise Attack is pretty free to play. But as it turns out, I didn't really find anything here, so I'm probably just going to Smash and Burn, even though it's a weak on-turn play, because I want to set up this second part of the card, and I want to find a card that I can Surprise Attack out, because otherwise I'm just going to be stuck in a spot where I don't have a good play to make any turn. Alright. It's alright. Don't worry about it. I'm sure this game will go quick since I'm playing a very aggressive deck. This deck isn't actually that aggressive. It's we could try and make this deck more aggressive, but I think in Epic you don't want to make burn decks how you might see them in card games where you actually have a mana curve, because basically if you run out of cards, then you don't have a play to make every turn, and you can't just rely on the fact that your cards are going to be able to play more of them every turn than your opponent. Alright, what are we doing here? Probably just going to play a Strafing Dragon after this hits me. So I'm going to Surprise Attack in case I draw something that I want to Surprise Attack out. Because what I'm thinking is this Juggernaut. So Juggernaut can't be killed during its owner's turn. So basically, I would normally just be taking 9 and they're going to pass to me, and then I'm going to play a Strafing Dragon. So I might as well just play it right now, in case I Surprise Attack into a Raging T-Rex that can block it. So I'm going to reveal Surprise Attack and probably Flame Spike. Those cards give my opponent the least amount of information. Deal 5 damage to them, and then choose not to block. I should just battle past. Alright. What was revealed? I didn't even pay attention that much. Ancient Chant and Muse. Alright, so we didn't really get any information either. I mean, this Flame Spike is probably going to stay in my hand for a while. Alright. Flash Fire. And what does 4 damage? Feeding Frenzy? Oh, Flame Spike. Force Mage Apprentice? Alright. So this is actually fine. This is one of the reasons why I don't like to reveal Pyrosaur if I can, unless I have multiple of that card effect in my hand, because here we're going to get a lot of value for free. Lots of free value. I'm just drawing all of my Surprise Attacks. I'm going to Surprise Attack again. Drop his Pyrosaur. Not going to use this Smash and Burn. We don't need it. We're going to reveal. Our opponent knows about the Flame Spike, so we'll show that again. And we'll show another Surprise Attack. It's really hard to play around Surprise Attack. But sometimes I won't show the Surprise Attack if my opponent is playing the type of deck where the fact that I'm going to play a really big champion on their turn is really relevant to how they'll take their turn. Yeah. Welcome to Value Town. Exactly. I love Value Town. Yeah, I mean, I guess I have this kind of, this is something about card games where I just see a card a couple of times and then I just have it perfectly memorized. So, yeah, I just, there aren't very many cards, so if there, I'll explain my thought process there. So, basically, my champion had 6 health. And then they, what do? They flame spiked. They did something before flame spiking, right? They flash fired, then flame spiked, which does 2 damage to, which does 4 damage to it. So it has 2 health left. That's a very weird play. So I think they would want to have another card that gives them value. When they played Flame Spike, they only had 2 cards and they discard pile. So after playing Flame Spike, they only had 1. So they probably weren't going to play. They probably weren't going to waste 2 recycles and also their Flash Fire. I mean, they'd get 1 of the recycles, but they'd be wasting 1 recycle and their Flash Fire just to take out my 6 defense champions. So the only thing I could think of that gives them advantage and also does 2 damage to my champion is Force Mage Apprentice. Alright, so one thing that we're going to be sad about here is I think we're about to get amnesia'd, but we're going to find out. I'm going to discard probably the Lessons Learned. I might need that draw too. I'm going to discard Lessons Learned. Yeah. It did seem, yeah. So with the Force Mage Apprentice, usually you just play this whenever you can because your opponent, it's a threat. Deals 2 damage to the opponent or to one of their champions every turn. But, alright, they are going to pass. They're not going to amnesia me, which I'm glad about. Alright, I'm going to let them start their turn here. Normally I would just Flame Spike this right away. But we know they have Muse in their hand. So I don't want to Flame Spike that and then have them play Muse. So I'm just gonna let them start their turn, then play this Flame Spike, so that they can't play Muse after I play my Flame Spike. Now, usually when I'm choosing what to recycle, I just think about what cards I have that interact with my own discard pile. So I have just Lessons Learned, which is this one. So it lets me replay an event that costs 1. So I'll always choose to get rid of my 0 cost events first. Alright. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to surprise attack out Brachiosaurus. Probably going to surprise attack out Brachiosaurus. Alright, and they're going to deal 7 damage to them with Fires of Rebellion. This is untargetable, so we can't use anything on it really. But I think that we just win. Oh yeah. We're just gonna win if our turn starts again, because we have this Fires of Rebellion to deal another 7. Alright, and that's the game. Burn them out. We achieved our burn strategy. Yeah, usually in Epic, burn is more of a reach tool. I mean, you might be dealing damage to them kind of accidentally, but it's not the kind of thing where you're just doing it to them the entire game. You're not just throwing flame strikes at their face, because otherwise you're going to run out of cards in hand. You're not going to have enough ways to interact with even just something like a T-Rex or any mid-sized champion really is just going to kill you. Basically, every champion is like a burn spell that happens every turn if you don't block it. Good game, Epicat. I think because it's 9 here, I'm going to be calling it, and I'll be continuing the stream on Monday, and we can see how far this goes. Currently, we have 2 wins with this deck, so my prediction was 4 wins. We'll see if we get to that amount or if we go over or under it. Yeah, perfect timing, exactly. Alright, good games everyone, and I'm going to head off. I'll be back on Monday at the same time.